A lot of people say you can't improve at LSAT reading comp, and that simply is not true. In this video, I'm going to share how I improved my LSAT score by 23 points, much of that increase coming from my performance on the LSAT reading comp section. Before I get into that, a little bit about LSAT Unplugged. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. Check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd love to help you out and help you achieve a significant score increase just like I did, whether it's on reading comp, logical reasoning, or on logic games before they remove it from the exam entirely. Now in this video, I'm going to share the exact steps I took to improve my LSAT reading comprehension performance significantly. A lot of folks say you can't improve at LSAT reading comp. That simply is not true, and I'll show you how. So one of the major steps I took was to stop taking notes at all. I find that far too many students spend way too much time highlighting, underlining, taking notes, making summaries. On the paper LSAT, they'd mark on the passage. Now they're using the glitchy highlighting and underlining tools on LSAT's Law Hub, which simply does not work very well. It's unreliable. I wouldn't bother with it. If you want to take some very minimal notes, that's totally fine, but I would keep them minimal, and I would spend a maximum of just 2.5 to 3 minutes on your initial read of the passage so that you'll have sufficient time available to solve the questions themselves. On average, you have 8 minutes and 45 seconds per passage. Some are easier, some are harder, but regardless, you want to make sure you have sufficient time to solve the questions. And already, by spending 3 minutes reading the passage and taking any notes you would be taking, you already have less than a minute per question. So you certainly don't want to go below that by spending even more time on your initial upfront read. I find that a lot of students are aiming to understand all the information in the passage. I recommend simply focusing on extracting what is the main idea, what is the primary purpose, what is the organization of the passage, general global info like that. When I stopped getting bogged down in the details, when I aimed to simply take away the main idea of the passage, I was able to get through the passage much more quickly, and I had a lot more time to solve the questions associated with that passage. So give this a shot and try it out. This feeds into my next major shift, which was to approach the questions out of order. There is no reason you have to attempt the LSAT questions in the order given. Just because they put a main idea question in the middle and surrounded by a bunch of general inferential questions that are a lot tougher to understand, that doesn't mean you have to do them in that order. I recommend solving all the main idea, primary purpose, passage organization, best title, tone, author's opinion, all those general global questions first, then the more detail-oriented questions that require a bit more going back to the passage, and finally, the inferential questions where you're going to do a bit more reading between the lines. So I'm constantly skipping around asking myself, is this a global question? Is it a local question? Or is it an inferential question? If it's local or inferential, I save it for later. I first knock out the general global questions, and this saved me a ton of time because I was able to build my understanding of the passage as I went, tackling the lowest hanging fruit first. Now, you'll find a lot of reading comprehension passages are pretty boring. That was certainly my experience, and this is deliberate on LSAT's part. They are deliberately choosing topics that most pre-laws aren't going to have any prior familiarity with and won't have any interest in either. This is, of course, deliberate on their part. They want to bore you to death. They want you to gloss over the details. They want you to have difficulty getting through the passage and on an initial read, let alone understanding it and appreciating it and remembering it. And so what you've got to do is feign interest. I have a humanities background. I majored in political science, so a lot of the natural science passages were really tough for me. Not my favorite thing. And even the law-related passages are so arcane, they're so unfamiliar that it's hard to get interested in them either. But you've got to fake it till you make it. Pretend to be interested. Pretend that this is the most fascinating, exciting topic in the world. And if you can, dumb it down, make the passage topic more relatable. So maybe you divide the major viewpoints into, say, liberal and conservative or old versus new. Here's a hint. One major theme of LSAT reading comp passages in general is objectivism versus subjectivism. Objectivism being there is one essential universal truth of something. Subjectivism being that things are a lot more relative based on the inner subjective experience of the person examining something. For example, I've got a big list of passages on this topic. I will share them in the links below this video so you can find out more. And if you have any questions, whether you're attempting reading comp, logical reasoning, or games to improve your score significantly, my team and I would love to help you out. Again, check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. The LSAT Unplugged course is the distillation of everything I learned on my LSAT journey, along with the 15+ years since my journey I've spent teaching the LSAT to others, helping countless students, literally thousands of students, improve their LSAT scores significantly, and I'd love to help you out too. And if you haven't already, get a copy of my book, Mastering the LSAT, available at lsatmasterybook.com. It's a great summary of my basic approach to the LSAT. I've got sample study schedules in there, as well as a whole lot more information, again, based on my personal LSAT journey, improving my LSAT score 23 points from 152 on my cold diagnostic to a 175 on test day. I'm confident I can help you out too. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.